The Dolphins are now on the clock.
See how it does.
The Seahawks are now on the clock. The Browns are now on the clock. All right, now that the pick's in, let's go to Adam. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
Well, there isn't much to say other than this kid was born to run. He's the spitting image of his father, a nationally ranked sprinter in several major events, and highly recruited by every major college. However, unlike his dad, he chose to pursue a career in football, and so far that decision is paying off. He may not be gold medal fast, but he has the speed and quickness to cause fits for the opposing team. He's the type of player you like to see out in the open field where he can make moves a lot of other players can't. The coaches are going to love having his speed at their disposal.
The Bears are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock.
A lot of defensive players going.
The 49ers are now on the clock. The Bengals are now on the clock. The Giants are now on the clock. The Jets are now on the clock. The Chargers are now on the clock.
Let's go to Adam now, who's got more on the Chargers' last pick.
The importance of a lockdown pass defender cannot be emphasized enough, and that's exactly what every GM I talked to described him as. His ability to play physical and to outwork his opposition off the line have also been areas of high praise on his journey to the draft. This skill set could be seen in numerous games this year where he completely shut down some of this draft's top-rated wide receivers. When you're tasked with neutralizing an opponent's #1 wideout each week, there's a great deal of responsibility to ensure you're not just physically ready, but also mentally ready. This is another important trait the GMs I spoke with mentioned to me that made them so excited about this guy. The hope is that he will quickly learn the playbook, get some solid reps in the preseason, and come week 1, be ready to play.
The Broncos are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock.
It's our turn.
Buccaneers are now on the clock. Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
He looked like a man among boys at the All-Star game. Facing off against one of the better blockers in the draft, he was able to get pressure and was in the quarterback's face all day. And at least twice, he knocked the offensive lineman on his backside, finishing the play with a sack. Matt Miller came away impressed by more than just his aggressive play style. A lot of his pressures came from pure effort and proper use of his hands to shed the blocker. He was the difference maker in the All-Star game, and the team noticed.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
Cardinals are off the clock now. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
With this pick, we see a tremendous physical talent that fell out of favor with many teams based on reports that he struggled memorizing his playbook. These struggles were cited as contributing to several key mistakes in late-season losses. A 3.7 grade point average student studying humanities, the explanation for his lack of football knowledge was puzzling to many of the scouts and GMs I spoke to. Other sources have told me that if the reports of his playbook struggles are indeed true, it may be more of a reflection of his previous coaching staff than his mental work ethic. They feel that making the jump to the NFL provides a clean learning slate for him. I expect his new coaching staff to bring him along slowly, and because of that, I wouldn't expect to see him getting any immediate on-field action until he demonstrates a mastery of the playbook.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade. All right, let's go to Adam Schefter, who's got more on this pick.
He's one of the few receivers in college that no matter what sort of coverage you threw at him, he always came away with the ball. A great example is one of his impressive touchdown catches that has been on highlight reels ever since. It was late in the game, and the defense knew who the quarterback was going to target. He was surrounded by 3 defenders when his quarterback put the ball in the air, and even though he was completely swamped, somehow he managed to pluck the ball right over the defenders' heads. He isn't the biggest receiver, but he has the ability to stretch and make the play, essentially making him a larger and taller target and a real threat in the red zone. I think this team got a possible difference maker at receiver.
The Saints are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Ravens are now on the clock. The Raiders are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
Hard, physical running is his calling card. There is no better display of what he's capable of than when he set a team record for rushing yards in a game, eclipsing the 300-yard mark. After that performance, he put the NFL on notice. Now he's arrived anxious to prove he'll be capable of ripping off big games in the pros, just as he was able to do throughout college. He should see a lot of touches this season, starting in the preseason all the way through what this team hopes is a deep playoff run.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Let's go to Shefty now with more on Preston.
As aggressive as a defensive lineman as you will find, here's a guy who plays with reckless abandon in his quest to bring down an opposing quarterback. Many I talk to point to this mentality as the reason why he ended up with a ruptured pectoral muscle and cracked sternum, ending his college career. A tendo Achilles allograft reconstruction was needed to repair the pectoral and graft it back into place. Procedure typically takes 12 to 18 months to return from, yet he was able to achieve medical clearance in just 7. What remains to be seen, however, is if his all-out style of play will have changed at all, knowing that an aggravation of the injury likely means an end to his career. Fans of the...
I'll go with that.